Krishna to discuss about child safety in this webinar, which is hosted already in the Child Safety Week. Over to you.
Thank you, Hemang. I'm Dr. Challa Krishnaveer Abhishek. I'm Director of Center for Emotional Education, and I'm also the soft skills trainer of Andhra University. As a victim of abuse as a child, my first workshop is actually on child protection. Every youth, I believe, because my topic is the role of youth in child protection. So I believe that every youth should identify himself or herself as a child protection worker. Youth must coordinate with local Sachivalayam volunteers. Andhra Pradesh state government has implemented the first of its kind decentralization policy by hiring village level and ward level youth volunteers. The Sachivalayam volunteer must collaborate with police department based on the area or town to which the ward belongs, district level social welfare department, that is local integrated child and women welfare department, and department of social work of the local university, and center for women and child welfare studies in the local university. The Sachivalayam volunteer must take the responsibility of appointing sector-wise child protection worker, preferably motivated youth volunteer. The youth volunteer must then disseminate helpline pamphlets to all the houses and in his designated sector. The youth volunteer has to make a database of the existing child abuse cases in his sector and must act on the pending cases. From the designated time, the youth volunteer must be able to directly receive the report and share it with the local Sachivalayam volunteer to assess it to determine whether an investigation will take place or not. During the course of investigation, a child protection worker will speak with the child who is the subject of the report and any combination of family members, other service providers, medical professionals, and teachers. The evidence is then taken to the Sachivalayam volunteer who will coordinate the investigation officer, who will coordinate with the investigation officer and a member of the social welfare department to determine whether to substantiate the allegation or not. If the allegation is substantiated, the child protection worker, along with Sachivalayam volunteer, may offer support services to mitigate the impact of conditions surrounding the abuse, or in severe circumstances, the youth volunteer, the sector-wise youth volunteer, may remove the child from the home. All this should occur within 30 days of the initial report. Roles and responsibilities of a child youth worker: to act as a resource to children and their families who live in the area of the community center, to establish rapport with children and their families, to assist in case management where appropriate, to guide the children and their families of his/her sector by organizing monthly workshops, child safety or child protection weeks or child protection days, and organize plays educating children about good touch and bad touch, motivational storytelling sessions for children, awareness and sensitization programs regarding child protection laws, acts, and various stakeholders. So, to support families in advocacy role and act as a liaison officer between them and social service agencies or NGOs. So I believe that these Sachivalayam volunteers must hire a sector-wise child protection worker who will coordinate with the families in the sector, who will coordinate with the children, who will organize various programs, awareness, sensitization programs. And because I believe that by decentralizing this, it will become easy for the families to approach a person who is belonging to their sector. And I believe that the cases and also the feasibility, I think, and there will be more transparency also. So the child protection worker must be selected via careful scrutiny and analysis. After selection, he/she must be given intensive training for a period of 1 month and must be certified by the government. The training must focus on the following domains: it must focus on laws, it must focus on psychology, it must focus on social work, public administration, and mass communication. So, the maximum tenure of a child youth worker must not exceed 2 years, and he/she must be regularly monitored by the Sachivalayam volunteer. So, basically, the Sachivalayam volunteer or the village Sachivalayam volunteer, so they must designate sector wise child protection workers who are preferably youth, who will be taking care of various activities in their sectors, and they must be in touch with the children and their families, educating them, organizing various programs, taking note of pending cases, discussing with the police, seeing to it that justice is done, and organizing various educational programs to parents, especially on parenting, and also to children on various other issues, motivating them. And I believe that youth can play a major role in mitigating child abuse. And child sexual abuse is something I don't have a word to describe it. I believe that children are the face of God, and by disrespecting or by abusing children, you're abusing God, is what I believe. Because I believe that children are more closer to God because of their innocence. And we must see to it that we take care of our future, because children are our future. The future citizens must be safeguarded. And I believe that youth can play a major role. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very amazing, to be honest.